for our next project, we're going to be looking at an artist named Beatrice Blue. So Beatrice is an author, illustrator, and animator. That is her that you see there. She has written 4 books and worked on a lot of different animation projects. Our next project is going to focus on 2 of Beatrice's illustrations, and these are going to be her nighttime greenhouse illustrations that are in the forest. So the 2 images that you see here are those illustrations by Beatrice, and you can see that they're set at night, that the greenhouse is sort of glowing and illuminated in the nighttime forest, so it really becomes the focal point of her artwork. The cover of her book Wonder, which I have here in the classroom, is also from the illustration she does with her greenhouse series, but this would be a look inside of the greenhouse. So you see her figure there holding the little orb of light with all the plants around her, basically in the most magical place ever. So let's talk about what a greenhouse is, because basically it's my dream, guys. I have over 40 houseplants, and I'm sure that my husband wishes we had a greenhouse so they were not all in our house, but I don't have a greenhouse yet. But a greenhouse is basically a beautiful little house where plants get to keep warm when it gets too cold outside for them to live. On the left, you see a little greenhouse. So this is my dream. Eventually, one day, I will own a greenhouse. Maybe not as big as the one on the left, but possibly the one on the right. But you'll see that they kind of have this magical feel, because plants are really cool. And I guess that people that have plants want to have cool places for their plants. Makes sense. And these are inside images of the greenhouses that I showed you. So just basically floor to ceiling filled with different plants that are thriving and living because they're not out in the cold. I want to show you a little TikTok that I found of one of those greenhouses that I showed you. Told you, the most magical place ever, right? So for our next project, we are going to be creating a greenhouse in the middle of the nighttime forest using tints and shades. So we are going to create a night scene in the forest, and then we're going to make our greenhouse look like it's glowing based off of Beatrice Blue's illustrations that we saw in the beginning. But really quick, before we begin, we need to discuss what tints and shades are. So with every color, you have the original color, right in here, and then if you add white to the color, it becomes a tint. It becomes a lighter version of the original color. And if you add black, it becomes a shade. It makes darker versions of the original color. And we're going to be using tints and shades to create our forest today. So let's get started.